Welcome to the Disneyville podcast, episode 25. Honestly, never thought we'd make it.
Are we going to say it every time?
Honestly, there's been some times where I'm like, we're never going to make it. Never to 25. Forget 100. We're going to try and eke our way out to 25.
I think we're on our way to 1,000. I think we're rolling.
How old are you going to be
into this
when
now,
we do this, our 1,000th episode?
Well, it depends on if we change up our schedule. No, okay. Well, at the rate where we took a few months off, yeah.
Exactly.
I think this counts as like, these are all season 2.
Yeah.
If we were to do seasons. If we ever like in the future actually do organize these and decide, this would definitely have been part of season 2.
Yeah. I'm Tyler Braun.
I'm Jessica Braun, and we are hitting our stride here on the Disneyville podcast.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. When I put this shelf up, I knocked a little thing here on the wall, and people keep bringing up that I need to paint it. I know, it's on the list. Don't look at it.
Now you've shined a light directly on it.
So, today's episode, I don't know who gave us the idea initially, but we talked about doing this with my travel agency. One of my agents, Cheyenne, mentioned that it would be a good idea to do a battle of the top floor restaurants as a blog for our agency. And so I was like, I can do that one. I'll take that one. Mm-hmm. And then we got to talking about it. I'm like, that'd be a good podcast episode too. So that's what we're talking about today.
So thank you, Cheyenne.
Battle of the top floor restaurants. And so there's a few that I think could maybe be considered, but we're only talking about 3 that I think are technically top floor restaurants.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about that in a bit. Yeah.
Right. So we're talking about California Grill at Disney's Contemporary Resort. We're talking about Topolino's Terrace. What do they call it? Flavors of the Riviera at the Riviera Resort. And then Toledo, which is like Toledo, seafood, steak, and tapas of Spain. Anyway, that's at the Gran Destino Tower. So
at Coronado Springs.
Springs. So those are the top of the world restaurants.
The 3 Musketeers.
Right.
The 3 rooftop tiers. That actually works kind of well. So we've eaten at all 3 of these, some more recently than others, and we'll get into that. And we definitely have some thoughts. And at the end, we'll kind of rank through like, okay, if you're just going to try one on your next trip, what should it be? What do we recommend based on, are you a family? Do you have kids?
Right.
All of that kind of stuff. So it's going to be juicy. I hope you're here for it. And
yeah. And I don't think there's a winner. It's depending on who you are and what you're looking for.
Yeah.
They're all pretty awesome though.
They're all winners.
What's interesting though, is I was thinking about it. We've eaten at California Grill more than the others, but it's been a long time since we've eaten there. I think the last time we ate there was like 2016, something like that.
No. It was more recent than that, but it definitely was the longest time ago versus the others.
I think the last time we were there was when we went with your parents, and that was like 2016.
Well, it sounds like we're going to need to remedy that.
But then Topolino and Toledo, we've eaten at more recently. Well, they didn't open until, I think Toledo opened in 2021, and then Topolino opened in 2019. So they're both much newer.
Yeah.
So we could have even done this episode a few years ago. So we've eaten at them a lot more recently, but not as often. So
I don't know. Topolino's we've eaten at quite a few times at this point. So it might be, actually we might have eaten at Topolino's more.
You know what?
We've done, I think, 4 meals there, breakfast and dinner combined, mostly breakfast, versus California, I think maybe 2 or 3 times. Anyway, if this matters. Doesn't really matter. Let's dive in.
All right.
Quick little mug shot. I am the only one with an appropriate mug for today, although you are wearing an appropriate shirt and I am not. Today's mug is our Disney Riviera Resort mug. We got, I think, a trip or 2 ago, and it's just so cute. It's got an image of Minnie and Mickey dressed in their Riviera outfits, if you will, and you see the Riviera in the background, and even the Skyliner makes an appearance, which I just think is so cute.
And it changes colors as it gets warm. So it looks like nighttime, and then when you pour coffee in it, it looks like daytime.
When I tell you I did not know that until this very moment, I had to swallow my coffee before I could get that out. Yeah. I genuinely had no idea.
Yeah, it's not a big, massive change, but you can see it's darker on the top there because it's not.
That's cute.
But that's why you can't microwave that one. And it's a big mug, so you got it.
When I tell you I've definitely microwaved this.
Maybe that's why it doesn't work very well anymore. So I was going to quickly read through the Disney descriptions of these because I love the Disney descriptions.
Part of the podcast.
I don't have any funny accents or anything for them though.
I'll bet you'll think one up. California Grill. What do you got?
But see, it's not like California Surfer. It's like high-end California.
There you go. That's it. You landed on it. Let's hear it.
California Grill. Savor delectable market-inspired. No, see, that's just like
No,
surfer
it's perfect. No, it's
cuisine.
perfect.
As you take in the sights of the Seven Seas Lagoon and Magic Kingdom Park.
You're slipping into
I know,
question.
I can't help myself. But they say that it's American food, seafood, sushi, and fine dining. That's how they describe it. That is on the 15th floor of the Contemporary Resort.
Weirdly kind of hard to find if you've never been there because you have to get to the right elevator bank. And like,
Yeah.
I feel like the first time we ever went, we were like, where are we?
Yeah. I think they now have signs that say California Grill check-in, but you have to go to the second floor to check in. Mm-hmm. And then there's a private elevator that takes you up to the 15th floor.
Maybe that's what it was.
So it's just a little bit confusing, but you'll find signs. And again, you can always ask a cast member if you can't find it. Then we're talking about Topolino's Terrace, flavors of the Riviera. So
I think you should read it as Mickey Mouse because Topolino means Mickey Mouse in Italian,
yeah.
right? So
savor exquisite French and Italian cuisine at dinner, or begin your day with a scrumptious character breakfast.
that was great. Genevieve, our daughter, always tells me that I'm really good at Mickey Mouse. I'm pretty sure she thinks I'm you, and it's just you.
Oh boy. Okay, so
I think I do the oh boy better though.
let's hear it.
Now, see, my voice is scratchy.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, that was very
was
good.
all right?
That was very good.
I could do better, but not today.
So they say that's French, Italian, character dining, and fine dining. Which again, fine dining I think is kind of. I mean, they have breakfast and dinner. I would not consider the breakfast fine dining, and honestly, I don't think I'd consider the dinner as like fine dining. Maybe like semi-formal.
I feel like with Disney, if you're writing fine dining, it's always with an asterisk in your mind because no one's going to be there in like a beautiful gown.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless you're going to like Victoria and Albert. You know what I mean?
Right.
And even there,
Right,
it's
exactly,
still,
yeah.
but that's definitely like
the exception to the rule.
fine dining.
Yeah, I would say like Connecticut casual. And that is on the 10th floor of the Riviera. So it's a little bit shorter than the California Grill. Then Toledo, tapas, steak food, and seafood.
Not steak food. Also, you wrote stead. There's so much going on.
Sorry, hold on. Tapas, steak, and seafood. But here's what's funny. So the name of the restaurant, this is not that funny, but I found it entertaining. The name of the restaurant is Toledo, tapas, steak, and seafood. In the description, they say tapas, seafood, and steak. And then in the cuisine style, they say seafood, steakhouse, Spanish.
They don't know
Like
what
they
they're
couldn't
doing.
just say the same thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just
Also,
thought
this one
a
says it's
different order every
casual
time.
dining.
I know.
Which I would actually view this as a little bit nicer than, maybe a little bit nicer than Toledo. Or at least, no. This is Toledo. At least on par with Topolino's Terrace and
Right.
California Grill. So
Right,
that's
exactly.
fascinating.
Yeah, I would
I
think.
feel
Yeah.
like whoever wrote this obviously was having issues that day.
So Toledo says, I don't have an accent for this. Dine on tapas, seafood, and steak in style at this Spanish haven inspired by surrealist art and the 1930s avant-garde.
Why don't you do like one of those transatlantic, I don't know. It just feels like it could work. Let's hear it.
Transatlantic. What do you?
You know what I mean? Like, or what am I saying? Mid-Atlantic? What is the thing?
No, here I'll do.
Like from
I'll think
like,
about like
back.
I'll do
actresses back.
I'll do Carla's dad, our Spanish foreign exchange student,
Oh.
her dad. Dine on tapas, seafood, and steak in style at this Spanish haven inspired by surrealist art in the 1930s avant-garde.
Except for he would say it all in Spanish. 'Cause I
Yeah.
don't think he speaks any English.
Yeah.
It would have
It sounded awesome.
He's
if
got
he
a
said
great
it.
voice.
He has a great voice. He's the
The
kind of person you just
only few times I've ever heard that man speak, I'm like, everybody listen, quiet.
whatever he says, you
What if he
just
says
listen.
He means it. That was great. I loved it.
Okay, so that is the brief overview of Disney's little blurbs they have.
Side note, I want to explain why I was thinking transatlantic or mid-Atlantic. You guys know what I'm talking about, that voice like from actresses in the 1930s. Because I'm thinking Toledo, and then it made me think of Buffalo, New York, similar but different. And then I thought about Shuffle Off to Buffalo, and then I thought about that time period, and then they said 1930s. And so to me, but I forgot the whole Spain of it all.
The whole Spain of it all. Oh my goodness. So talking about the food, we can really delve in here, but we're not going to read off the entire menus, but there's a few interesting things we can kind of talk about. So again, food, California Grill, American seafood, sushi, and fine dining. As of right now, it is a 3-course menu. So you get 1 appetizer, 1 entree, and 1 dessert. It's $89 per adult and $39 for children ages 3 to 9. We have not been there since they've done it this way. It's always just been an a la carte menu when we've gone.
So now it's more of like a prefix. Yeah, that's interesting. Sometimes that can be nice. I mean, it totally depends. You have to be comfortable paying that amount and knowing what you're getting. Because if you're on a budget and you're like, oh, we're just going to go and like share a dinner, share an appetizer and call it a day.
Right.
You can certainly go for cheaper. So it's always interesting when they decide at certain restaurants to do this. I wonder if a lot of people were doing that and Disney thought, okay, obviously this is a highly sought after restaurant with the fireworks viewing and stuff, which we'll talk about. This is a way for Disney to guarantee they're making a certain amount of money per head.
Right. Yeah, could be.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge fan of the prefix menu or the family style dining, which so many restaurants are going to right now. Mm-hmm. It's fine, but I'm not. If I'm picking, I would rather just go to a restaurant and order what I want.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would probably agree.
But
with
they
that,
just keep doing it more and more and more.
The family style dining is really tricky because a lot of times it's just so much wasted food. We've talked about that before, but yeah, I agree.
And again, you get so much. And again, they usually have like a vegetarian option, and sometimes we'll do that. But I'm like, well, sometimes I want a little bit of the meat, but I just don't need,
all of the meat.
I don't need 8 chicken breasts for my family. I'm like, I don't need, 16 ribs and all these things. I'm like, can I just have a couple of each thing? And then if I want more, I'll ask for more. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's a whole different story for a different day. So looking at they have oak grilled filet of beef, lamb, tenderloin, all the kind of classic Wagyu strip loin, all that kind of stuff. But this is what I was looking at here. Under beverages with alcohol, they have signature cocktails. And a lot of these places have like fine cocktails and that kind of stuff. This one though, the California Grill signature cocktail. This ultra premium cocktail pairing partners traditional champagne with Remy Martin Louis the XIII 13th, which takes 4 generations of cellar masters to create. How much do you think that is?
And it's just one cocktail.
One cocktail.
I mean, I'm assuming it's expensive since you're asking, so 40, something crazy.
Higher.
Higher than that?
Higher.
70.
Higher.
$1 million.
$138 for that cocktail.
Oh my gosh.
For that, I should also get an entire show and a meal and
the amount of just champagne you
Uber
could
home.
get for $138. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How often are they selling that? Wouldn't you love to see the books?
So I always say this, and I'm going to make a lot of people mad. Not a lot of people, a few hoity-toity people mad. When I used to work in hotels, they used to have sommeliers come in and they would have us taste wine and that kind of stuff. And it was a really cool experience. And I could always tell the difference between like a $4 bottle of wine and like a $15 bottle of wine, maybe 20. But I feel like once you hit that $20 mark, it doesn't get much better. You can get, I mean, this is me with my very unsophisticated palate, but I'm like, you can tell the difference with like a nice bottle, but a nice bottle of $20 to $25 is more than enough. And then once you get, because they would have us try these like $200 bottles of wine, I'm like, it's good. It's good.
I'm sure it's
good
great.
wine.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just me. And then they have all these other ones, $83, just nonsense. I mean, a $25 cocktail is pretty expensive, but $138. Anyway, I just had to bring that up.
Something else worth noting is that California Grill only does dinner, whereas like Topolino's does breakfast, etc. So
they used to do a Sunday brunch, which I heard was amazing. Ooh. And they have not brought that back yet. So hopefully at some point that will come back, because I would love to do a Sunday brunch at California Grill.
That would be amazing. I just love breakfast so much. Just thinking about it. Okay, so Topolino's Terrace, like he said, French, Italian, character dining. Oh yeah, character dining. We'll talk about that too. But it is a prefix menu for breakfast. I don't think I remembered it being prefix.
So it was an a la carte menu, and I think the last time we went, they had switched it to family style, because I'm pretty sure they just brought out the big platter stuff the last time.
Yeah.
And now it's prefix.
Okay, wow, they've gone through all the iterations.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The breakfast food is really good. Like, so good. I think it's both of our favorite breakfast.
100%.
Other than maybe your Trattoria Al Forno breakfast pizza.
The breakfast pizza at Trattoria Al Forno is my favorite breakfast food, but overall breakfast, from food to ambiance to everything, Topolino's Terrace.
Topolino's Terrace.
100% my favorite breakfast overall.
But they also have dinner. And our biggest complaint is that, and I will say I've learned something. Their kids menu, if you're bringing a kid to Topolino's Terrace for dinner, it is very much not like the most picky, kid-friendly, not even picky, just little kids. You know how most of them eat. And I know someone's going to comment and say, well, my kid eats all the things. That is awesome. Okay, wow, amazing, great job. But most kids, you know what I mean, are not necessarily going to be gung-ho about a grilled chicken breast, right? So in our experience, we've taken at least one of our kids here, and we were like, okay, we just need like a peanut butter and jelly because none of this is going to work.
And it wasn't even just like grilled chicken breast.
It was grilled steak. It was like salmon. So now they have rigatoni with tomato sauce. So I'm like, okay. That's better. I don't remember that being on the menu.
I don't think so. We probably would have ordered that if
it might have been, but she was also weird about tomato sauce then. She's better now. Grilled steak, grilled chicken breast. Now they have improved upon it because they have the kids create your own selections. They choose 2 and macaroni and cheese is on that list. So I'm like, okay, even at least having some kind of option like that. But then they also now have mashed potatoes, fruit salad, carrots, and then gelato. So I feel like the kids' menu has gotten better.
Yeah.
Again, that's such a niche complaint, I know, but it sounds like they must have gotten enough people saying like, yeah, can we have a little more wiggle room with the food on?
Right, exactly. And offer those things because there are kids that will eat them, and that's amazing. But then
yeah.
also just have, your chicken tenders, your French fries, the et ceteras. The
et ceteras.
The same thing happened to us at Toledo, and I forgot about it until when I was preparing for this episode, I rewatched our video from there. Mm-hmm. And they had the same thing, whereas a menu where a bunch of stuff that, our kids wouldn't eat, and they made her a peanut butter and jelly. So it's always worth asking to bring that up. But I had forgotten about that they just did that for us.
I just feel like Disney is always so good. If you ask, they make things happen.
Right. And again, it's one thing if you're doing any, restaurant anywhere, but again, this is Disney World, so they know what kids eat.
Yeah. Yeah. And they have the data to show you what kids eat.
Exactly.
Trick question. It's mostly mac and cheese, chicken nuggets, and PB&Js.
In our experience, anyway. So then Toledo, again, seafood, steakhouse, Spanish, casual dining is what they say. I think this one is probably best just for adults. Again, they made the peanut butter and jelly for Genevieve when we were there and all that kind of stuff, and that was great. But I feel like this is the kind of place where you can order. They have a bunch of tapas, go maybe on a date night or go just adults, enjoy yourselves, plan to take a couple hours and just relax. They'll bring out tapas as they come out, that kind of thing. And I think it's kind of a relaxing thing. And then right next door, we'll get to this, they have Dahlia Lounge, which is a really cool lounge bar area on the same level. So again, I think obviously we did it with our family and it was fine, but this would be a good one for just adults.
Yeah, I agree.
But I was looking at what we got. I remember the Rioja braised chorizo was so good. I think we fought over who got to eat that.
We should have just ordered another one.
And I don't know if you remember, but you got a vegetarian California or vegetarian cauliflower steak.
Really got California on the brain.
Do you remember if you liked it?
Yes, it was so good. We make a cauliflower steak at home. We need to make that again. Maybe
it's been a while, yeah.
And this reminded me of that. Just so good. I just love cauliflower so much. It was good.
Then I got the hanger steak, and I remember the steak being really good. But they had these potatoes with it that I think are some of the best potatoes I've ever had. I remember them so vividly. They were like smashed potatoes. Oh my gosh, they were so good. Unbelievably good. So the food there was quite delectable.
And I would say across the board, the food at all of the places is good.
Yes.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's really good. You're paying a higher price.
I feel like the only place that I, like of the three, I think the dinner at Topolino was probably my least favorite. I remember it was always good. But the other two, I remember like blowing my mind. They were so good. Yeah. And that one I remember being good, but it could also just be what I ordered. I think I ordered the time we went to dinner. The first time it was like pasta with sun-dried tomatoes. The second time though, we went with my family. My brother was there and I don't remember what I got, but it was better.
I remember it being better too. That's exactly my experience too. So again, I feel like updated across the board, all the food is really good. Yeah.
Okay. So quickly talking about the bars, all three have a bar. You do not need reservations. So if you're wanting to go to one of these places and you don't have a reservation, you can go to the bar. And even at like the Dahlia Lounge, which is like a separate space, kids are allowed. So the bars at California Grill and Topolino are pretty small. Like I think Topolino only has like 11 seats. So it's pretty small.
Yeah.
But it is an option and I'm pretty sure you can get food at all of them. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of something to keep in mind. Like if you can't get a reservation, but you want to go, that would be the way to go.
Yeah.
The California Grill and Topolino, the bar is just in the restaurant. And then, like I said, Toledo has a separate Dahlia Lounge area.
Do you want to start the history?
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
I know you love this.
Okay. So thinking about the history of really only one of them, because the other two don't really have history, although we will talk about a little bit of history.
They have a backstory, not history.
Yeah. But California Grill opened in 1971. So it was that opening year. And it was called Top of the World. Is that right? And they used to do shows up there. And I'd be so curious. I want to look up pictures of what it looked like because, like, where were they performing?
That's it. So I know I've seen some pictures of them on stage, but I don't know if I can't figure out where in the restaurant the stage was. And they've renovated a couple times since then. So it might not fit in the mold they have now or fit in the same footprint. But so that was in 1971 is when it opened. 1981 though is when that Broadway at the Top of the World show opened. And I don't know if they had performers before that.
So it looks like, and if you know differently, let us know in a comment. It looks like they had the stage, like all the windows still looked out over Magic Kingdom like that way. But then it looks like the stage was like, if you were looking at all the windows facing Magic Kingdom, it looks like it was maybe to the right. Doesn't that look like the windows?
They've got like a whole, like, what's that, a 12-piece band there?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I would love this.
Oh, that's so cool. So in 1981 is when the Broadway at the Top of the World started. Yeah, that's the picture I've seen before. That's the one where it's like they've got like 5 or 6 people
on stage. Yeah. I could go down this rabbit hole. We need to do a history show soon where we do the research and share it, because not on this necessarily, but because I have so many topics I want to do a deep dive into.
I know. So anyway, so from 1981 to 1993 is when Broadway at the Top of the World ran. If anybody saw that show, please let us know.
Oh my gosh.
What
we
it was
knew
like.
Someone that was in it. Remember the woman that was with me in the Year with Frog and Toad show?
That's right. I forgot about that. Oh, we should ask her.
I should message her. Ask her if she has any photos.
That would be cool.
Ooh.
So, and then in 1995, it went from Top of the World to California Grill, and it's been California Grill since 1995. So that's really the Cliff Notes version of the history there.
All right. So Topolino's Terrace, it opened in December of 2019. And as we said earlier, Topolino is the name for Mickey Mouse in Italian. And really, if you just walk through the Riviera, which of course the restaurant's in the Riviera, you see all of these photos of Walt Disney on his travels to Italy, to France. So Topolino's Terrace was also inspired by those travels. So it's just, I just love that they brought this idea to life for not only just the restaurant, but for the whole hotel. It's such a unique, specific kind of thing, but it also, it's generic enough to be both Italian and French, which is fascinating to me. Yeah. Because in my mind, those are very different. Right.
So,
right.
I mean, that whole
That's
area
true.
is...
So it is. But even still, it's just interesting that they've done both.
La Côte d'Azur. The book that I have called Travels with Walt Disney or something like that is awesome. And it has so many of the pictures of him traveling with his family, you know, and his wife and all that stuff to these different places. It's very cool. So if you're intrigued by the Riviera and the pictures and stuff there, you should check out that book called Travels with Walt Disney. And then our final contestant, Toledo, opened August 5th, 2021. And again, there's not a lot of history, but it has the backstory of, and again, I'm not going to go into this too deep, but Salvador Dali and Walt Disney, they met in 1945. They were going to do this short together called Destino. World War II happened and it kind of fell apart, or I guess the financial burdens of World War II happened. Mm-hmm. And so got lost, whatever. And then finally in 2003, Disney actually released this cartoon. It's wild if you ever get a chance to see it. It's like 6 minutes long.
Doesn't it have like Dali in it, like a cartoon that looks like him, or did I invent that?
It's a trippy cartoon. I only watched it the one time. We should watch it again. But the whole Gran Destino Tower is sort of that modernismo sort of architecture and all that kind of stuff. And they have these like in the lobby. It's a beautiful, beautiful tower and lobby and all that stuff. So anyway, that's very cool backstory. If you ever get a chance to look into that.
Talk about a niche.
Right, I know. Yeah. So look into that. It's a pretty interesting little history there.
So quickly on the pricing differences. So if you're pricing it out and you're thinking, okay, we want to do one of these rooftop places, but we want to do it on a budget. Toledo and Topolino's Terrace are both $35 to $60 per adult. Then California Grill is over $60 per adult with that prefix menu. So for Topolino's Terrace, we were kind of double checking some things. So for the breakfast, it's $50 for their prefix menu. And for the kids, it is $30.
But here's an interesting thing. If you're on the Disney dining plan, right now, California Grill is not accepting the Disney dining plan, but it's always been signature dining. So I'm assuming if they start doing that again, it'll be 2 table service credits. Topolino is also 2 table service credits for breakfast and dinner, but Toledo is only 1 table service credit. But the menu prices for dinner are about the same for both Toledo and Topolino. So if you're going to do, people are going to be, if you don't know these restaurants, they're going to get so confused between Topolino and Toledo.
I know.
But so don't maybe use a dining credit for that. Use it at another restaurant, because two table service credits I don't think is worth.
It's a lot, probably equivalent to more money than you would actually just spend there.
Exactly.
So yeah, better bang for your buck. Credit wise, I would do Toledo.
Yeah, because the dollar wise, it's the same. So I'm surprised that they're doing 2 for Topolino. Maybe no, honestly, that's just too much. It shouldn't be 2.
Well, but again, with character dining, I feel like that's pretty typical.
Right, but for the dinner,
I definitely would not. If you're going to use the 2 table service, do the breakfast, so at least you're getting the character.
Right, yeah.
Plus, it's just so good.
Yeah, and plus during the day, you've got all these pretty things to look at from the terrace and stuff like that, which we're about to get to. But then at night, they have the fireworks. So let's talk about the views.
Yeah, this is the best part.
Yeah.
Honestly, like when we think about any of these restaurants, this is what I think of. And it's the reason, I mean, the food is great, but the reason you're booking these places goes beyond that. And I feel like this is what makes all 3 of these shine.
Right. Yeah. 100%. All 3 have obviously amazing views and like floor to ceiling windows, but all 3 also have an area that you can walk outside and go like see everything outside. So California Grill, its view looks over the Seven Seas Lagoon and Magic Kingdom. So you can see like the contemporary parking lot, and then on to, so on and so forth. You see the Grand Floridian across the bay. There is fireworks viewing for the Magic Kingdom. And if you go earlier in the day and you can't line up, because people always want to line up their dining reservation with the fireworks viewing. And so people will sometimes get a reservation an hour early or even 2 hours early.
No,
and
I was like 2 hours early.
And then just sit and linger. So if you happen to get a reservation for, let's say, as soon as it opens, I think it opens like 5, you can go and eat dinner. You can go off on your merry little way, and you can actually come back to the outdoor platform and watch from there even later in the day if you have your receipt. So,
which really for most people would be like on their phone. You know what I mean? Like if you're charging it to your, I feel like you don't get actual receipts. Oh no, you still get a receipt. I'm just so used to everything either being on your Magic Band or you've like already done it, but you're right.
And I'm sure they would be able to check.
Yeah, they'd be able to check.
But every time we've gone and had a reservation during that time, we still go outside. So it really is no different if you're eating during it or if you're
unless you happen to have like a perfect window seat during your dinner, you do get a better view just popping outside.
Yeah.
But they dim the lights, they pump the music in, so it really is a whole experience. They pump it in, of course, right outside too. So when you're watching on that platform or the rooftop, it really is a unique, very cool experience that if you are into Disney and you can swing it, it is really neat.
Yeah.
I would assume if you ate at the bar there,
you could also go over.
No, I was going to say, I wonder if you wouldn't, but I guess if all you had to show was your receipt.
I think they probably would.
Know? They're going to know. How would they know? That'd be something if you've tested it out. Let us know, because I don't know.
Yeah, I would assume so. But yeah, I guess I'm not sure. So that's the only one that pumps in the music, though. The other 2, you can see some fireworks from them, but they don't pump in the music. So at Topolino, that has views. So I was looking at our footage of it to try and figure out what you could see. So at Topolino, you could see, obviously, the Riviera itself and that whole courtyard where they have the big chess and the pool and all that kind of stuff. Caribbean Beach and the Skyliner. Then you can see sort of the back half of Epcot. You can see, you can kind of see all the way up to like the Land Pavilion, but like the closer stuff is like World Showcase, that whole area. And then on the other side, you can see Swan and Dolphin. You can see Everest, Tower of Terror, because they're obviously taller. World Showcase area, that's the closest area to that. Because
Riviera is in the Epcot area, right? It is really cool. You can literally see 3 parks and many resorts and the Skyliner. It's one of those places that even if you just went up to go outside, would they let you? Yeah.
If you asked, I bet they probably would.
Yeah, or maybe get a drink at the bar and then go, you know what I mean? Whatever it takes, okay? Get a Sprite at the bar and then it is so cool to be able to see. Like, I feel like I could sit out there for hours just looking around.
They have the outdoor seating out there. They have like a patio. And they have like a little bar set up, but every time we've gone, it hasn't been open or operating or whatever. So I don't know if that's maybe something they rent out for private events or something. Or
maybe they even do it more likely at dinner versus the breakfast.
But I'm saying
time.
Even at dinner, it hasn't been open.
Yeah. Well, everything's now like full swing open. So I wonder if maybe it just
maybe
wasn't
it's back.
open.
Yeah.
So Toledo, as he mentioned, you go out and there's this Dahlia's Lounge seating area. It's pretty big. I feel like there was plenty of space. Yeah. You can see the Swan and Dolphin. You can see the Epcot ball in the distance. Tower of Terror. You can see Galaxy's Edge, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Blizzard Beach.
Yeah.
I forget about Blizzard Beach. And then you can also see Everest and Pandora. So very Animal Kingdom heavy just based on where it is. But it's just, again, it's another really cool place that you could just sit and look, like just
and there's
see what else you can find.
Actual like seating there, like, you know, they'll come out and serve you out there. Versus the other ones is like, especially at California Grill, there's just like a little walkway essentially.
Yeah.
But this
more
is
like a galley.
Yeah, but this you can actually sit out there and enjoy, which is really cool.
Yeah. Disney definitely knew what they were doing based on the success of California Grill for years and years and years, decades, really.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like over 5 decades. I feel like they were like, okay, if we're going to do these new restaurants and do it right, let's make sure there's actual area to stand and sit and have a drink, whatever.
And I think they're both relatively easy to get reservations for. The breakfast at Topolino can be a little bit hard.
Yeah.
But Dahlia Lounge doesn't take reservations at all. So that's first come, first serve. And then the other two, I think they're both relatively easy to get reservations for too.
You know what would be a perfect morning? Go to Riviera, get a cheap breakfast down at Primo Piatto.
Piazza Potato.
Yep. And then go up, and this is assuming Dahlia Lounge sells like mimosas, and then go up and just have a mimosa in the
That would be awesome.
Lounge.
Piazza Panini. So let's talk ambiance. So again, California Grill, 15th floor, private elevator takes you up there. These, again, I love the way they describe things, and so I just copy and pasted what they wrote.
You got to do it in the fancy California voice.
I can't find that.
Oh, you were there.
You'll discover exquisite panoramic views of the shimmering lagoon, Floridian woodland, and Cinderella Castle. No, that's not right.
No, this is perfect. You sound like a Bob's Burgers character. Go on.
Inside, enjoy the charged atmosphere of a lively onstage kitchen where chefs combine global flavors deliciously in inventive new ways. California Grill offers one of the best dining experiences at Walt Disney World. Lights dim as music is piped into the restaurant, immersing guests in the music of the night.
Nighttime sharpens. They really say music of the night. Magic.
The magic of the night.
The music of the night. Oh, that was my favorite one yet, I think. I love how deeply you got into it.
Also, we're both sick, and so we both are coughing. We're a mess right now. But these are both my favorite. We have talked about in the past how the phrase "feast your eyes" is not used often enough. And we keep trying to find ways.
Feast your eyes on this.
We've talked about, like, we need to find more opportunities to use the phrase "feast your eyes" in our daily life.
No. It's ridiculous.
And this is fantastic because the next 2 descriptions use the phrase "feast your eyes." Topolino's Terrace. This is ambiance. I'm just reading their website.
All right, you got to do Mickey Mouse.
Feast your eyes on the stunning visual aesthetic, a modern interpretation of textures, colors, carved details, and stonework found in ancient villages along the Riviera. Okay. So
I didn't focus on what you were saying.
No, but feast your eyes. And then this is different. It's different, but it's not. It's the same for Toledo. Savor dishes and small plates, inspired by the flavors of Spain, while feasting your eyes on the sweeping views of this rooftop restaurant. The fact they somehow found "feast your eyes" on both of them.
It's someone like us that's thought, I'm writing all these blurbs. I'm going to see how many times I can slip in feast your eyes.
And no one would notice if they weren't comparing the two.
Like us. And deep diving into the blurbs. Whose job is it? How do I get that job?
Feast your eyes. That all said, that's their descriptions. What are our descriptions?
I would say, again, I feel like Toledo gives off more of a like upscale vibe. So it's so interesting that it's viewed as more casual, laid back. I'm like, I mean, all of them generally are laid back because, like we said, Disney fine dining is not like wild fine dining. Yeah, the decorations, if you will, that's not what it's called, but you know what I mean, of Toledo is really cool. It is very unique, like the glass windows and like art. All I remember was walking in and going, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, and being genuine about it. It is a very cool, kind of more open restaurant.
Yeah. The ceiling in there is so pretty. It's got this red, and I think the chandeliers are supposed to be like a dandelion or some sort of flower or something like that. And it's so pretty. Like
It's just a
you
pretty
walk in,
restaurant.
I'm like, it's just gorgeous. I love the design of it. I'd love to go back and eat more because we were kind of off to the side by the window and eat more like in the middle of the restaurant and really feel like we're there.
Inside Salvador Dali's brain. I feel like Topolino's is a little more generic inside. I don't know if it's still pretty.
Yeah.
But it definitely feels generic. But what brings it to life is when you feast your eyes on the characters, because at breakfast time when the characters come out, it's Mickey, Minnie, etc., and they're all in these really cute Italian Riviera outfits.
Like artist
Although one of them's
outfits.
like an art. That's what it is. Yeah. And so like one of them's I think a sculptor, one's a painter, one's a candlestick maker probably. And it's so adorable. And they sing this like a song. It's not that exact song, but it's the vibe of that song.
Are you sure?
If I heard it, it'd be stuck in our head for weeks. So let's just not even go there. But it is really cute. And the kids can like dance with them and then they go around and you get to meet them. It is truly a unique way to meet Mickey and Minnie and all of them in a different outfit. With a different song. It's just fun.
And then if you go in the evening, you get to enjoy the magic of the night.
No.
I enjoy the music of the night.
Close your eyes. Okay.
Okay.
So let's talk our rankings because, and again, we're not ranking 1 through 3, which is the best. We're going to give just our vibe of if you are this person, you would like this one best, etc.
Right. So we broke it down this way. Best food, best ambiance, best views, best for adults, best for kids, best for families.
Yeah. Okay.
You ready? So you start. Best food.
Topolino's for breakfast. Hands down, easiest. However, if you're doing dinner, Toledo.
Okay. So I wrote Topolino for breakfast. It's the only option for breakfast until they bring back the brunch for California Grill. So easy winner there. And then I put California Grill for dinner for best food. I think every time we've had something there, I feel like I've tried a few different things like, pasta, seafood, steak, whatever I've had. Always good.
As I said, we need to test it again. Quality control, Quality
Hey,
assurance.
we're going relatively soon. We should look and see if we can get a reservation. So we were just looking at our list and we actually, all of them are the same from here on out. So we're just going to do this together. So best ambiance, we both said Toledo.
Yeah. Again, especially if you can sit in the main. I mean, most of it is the main area of the restaurant.
Right.
But it is just such a unique, cool restaurant. It is burned in my memory as being so cool.
Yeah. And again, I'd love to just go and sit in the Dahlia Lounge for a little while.
Yeah.
Best views, California Grill.
Yeah.
When we're talking for fireworks, because obviously they pipe the music in.
Did we
it's
mention,
amazing.
by the way, that you can see the fireworks for Epcot at Topolino's Terrace? But it's not
And
going to be
Toledo.
and at Toledo. Okay. But as you said, they're not pumping in music. So yes, you can see them, but it's not like what you're maybe expecting. But California Grill is like what you're expecting.
Exactly. So that's why for fireworks viewing, that's the best view.
just gotta be.
But for other views, like if you're just morning, evening, you're just there looking out, I think, Topolino.
Yeah. You can see just so much. It's so cool.
Yeah. And I just love seeing the Skyliner go by and all that. Okay. Best for adults, Toledo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
As
so
we
too.
explained.
California Grill was a tough one though, because I could definitely see that if you're just going, it's a goodie. But also, I think Toledo's still my favorite. And then best for kids.
Topolino's for breakfast. I think dinner though, and you have kids, maybe California Grill, just because if you're seeing the fireworks, like what kid's not going to absolutely love that?
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, on our Disneyville podcast Instagram, we asked if you guys had been to any of these restaurants, what your thoughts were on them, and then if you'd been to multiple, which one was your favorite? So we're going to look through some of your responses.
All right. So K Shell D said, love Topolino's. We've made it a tradition to eat breakfast there on checkout day.
Oh, that's fun.
That sounds so fun. Like you are really going out with a bang if you are ending with the best character breakfast / breakfast in Disney World.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Chef Mickey's needs to start taking some notes. It's a neat, which that's a whole different conversation for a different day. But the whole Grand Canyon concourse, I think, needs a refresh. But especially Chef Mickey's, it needs a little TLC over there. Shenanigans said not the restaurant, but DVC Top of the World Lounge is great for fireworks. Find a DVC friend. So that's the one I think at the Bay Lake Tower.
Any DVC friends.
I don't have any friends at all. But no, I want to go over there so badly because it's now called Top of the World, which is what California Grill used to be called.
Where is it?
at the top of Bay Lake Tower, I'm pretty sure. But it's a
Oh, that's
DVC
right.
lounge, and we've never
I
been
knew
up
what
there.
that was called. Yeah.
I would love to go over there and see that at some point. So, yeah.
Can we buy a DVC day pass? Okay, Claudia J. Parker said Toledo, best charcuterie board and best vibes. Totally agree. We'll have to get that next time. I don't think we got charcuterie board. Oh, who doesn't love a charcuterie board?
Emily Carr said, Topolino's. We love to go here for a date night. We always try and get a reservation during the fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. So people, it used to be that you could get, and this is 15 years ago or whatever, but I felt like you could get a reservation for an hour before and then you could go and sit and actually see the fireworks at these restaurants. But now people really do just camp there.
Yeah.
They'll have a reservation for 7:30 and they'll camp till 10 or whatever time the fireworks is that night, you know. And it's just so I don't know if Disney's cracked down on that, like giving a dining, like an amount of time you can be there.
Yeah.
Or what, because I feel like it had gotten out of control a little bit.
Yeah.
Nikki Olivares said, could never get a reservation at Topolino's Terrace. Why is it so difficult? Our best recommendation is, well, first of all, to book through a travel agency to help you with your dining.
Boom.
They will keep their eyes on it and get it for you most likely. His travel agency is People Mover Travel. I keep waiting for my sponsorship check. It's not coming in. Anyway, we also recommend you can look last minute. Like a lot of people drop their reservations a few days before. We have gotten really lucky with these more hard to get reservations by checking the app while we're in Disney, like a day or two before, and random ones will pop up. So don't give up hope. Even if you're already on the trip, don't give up hope, because that is how we've scored a lot of really big reservations.
Literally today for the agency, we were working on a Walt Disney World 101 sheet to send to all of our clients before they go. And that was one of the things that we were talking about adding, is that on the day, like even if it's like 2 days before you're actually trying to get that reservation, people cancel stuff really last minute. Availability opens up within those couple days. And then even on the day of the reservation, keep checking. And then some of them have like a virtual wait list you can join that day. So just because you don't get it before you go, keep checking while you're there. Try and join the wait list. Like you still might be able to get it.
It's called a walk-up list, and you'll see it on there like the day of. It'll say join walk-up list.
And sometimes you can physically walk up to a restaurant and they will have availability. So
I know, sounds archaic. In Disney, it's like unheard of, which is
how Neanderthal.
So interesting.
Foolish Mortal Magic said, literally any receipt from Cali Grill will get you back up to the terrace for fireworks view. So there we go. Answered our question right there.
There's our answer, baby. Thank you.
Yep.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Go up, have a glass of wine, or get yourself a Coke.
Yeah.
Get your $2 receipt. Oh, please, it'd be like $5.
Yeah, at least.
Okay, Liz Loves You 1016 said, Toledo blew us away. Topolino is a very close second. Cali Grill is just since moving to Prefix.
So
we've got to try it. Yeah.
It was so good. I mean, when we went
a while ago,
that's what I said. It was like
right,
2016. MSVP_by_Megan said, Topolino's no contest. That's pretty amazing. That no contest between all of them.
Arlena, one of your agents, said, I consider Ohana top floor and the food is superior and you can see fireworks if you time it. Yeah, we're thinking about that too. We might like future do an episode on fireworks viewing restaurants, like the best ones, because there are some like within Epcot, for example, that are our favorites that you can see the fire. Like there's a lot beyond just the resort. So
Citricos even, you can see, you know, so like that's, I don't know if you can see the fireworks, but it's like a top floor restaurant.
Narcoossee's too?
Narcoosse's, you can see, yeah.
So anyway,
but
that's
I wouldn't
a future
consider
episode,
those top floor, because we're talking 10 floors or higher.
Is that what the stipulation was? Miranda Cadis said, Toledo quality is incredible. I'm not surprised it was mentioned in the 2023 Michelin Guide. I got to look into that.
I'm pretty sure California Grill has a star too.
But you have to keep the star, don't you? So like you have to continue.
Sometimes,
I know.
I
feel like I've looked this up 10 times and I never remember.
And it's like the chef can get a star, but does it belong to the chef or the restaurant, or I don't know.
Who gets to hold the star in their hand?
I don't know. Well, and like there's the Victoria and Albert's, I think forever has had the AAA diamond, platinum, titanium,
star,
whatever. And then they just, for the first time ever, got a Michelin star, I think.
Which is a big deal.
It is a big deal, but I thought they had already had one. And I'm like, that's interesting. So, but she said it was mentioned in the Michelin Guide. So does that mean that they have a star or no? I don't know. I don't know anything about that world. I've talked about in the past, I almost went to culinary school, but I never, ever wanted to work in a restaurant. I wanted to be like a home chef, like, you know, working on a cookbook and that kind of stuff. But I'm like, the restaurant world is so stressful. And if you ever watch something like The Bear,
Oh, yes.
like, dude, no, I would not survive in that
Fun
kind
to
of
watch as an
environment.
outsider, probably not fun as an insider.
I have so much respect for people that work in restaurants. Front of house, back of house. That is not an easy job. Katie F16 said California Grill is so amazing with the option to watch the fireworks before or after.
Oh, I didn't even think about like if you watch it before and then your reservation was after.
We did that once where our
That's what I
reservation
thought.
was a little bit later.
Well, I think it was at the right time, but that's exactly what it was. It was at the right time. It was at like 8:30 and the fireworks were at 9 or something. But the people at our table, or no one was getting up. And basically the host stand said, no one's going to be getting up from here on out. So if you just want to watch it, and then we'll seat you. Which worked out. I mean, no big deal. But
yeah.
So if you have not rated us on wherever you get your podcasts, we would so appreciate it. It really does help us out and help our content get found by the right people, Disney people. So please give us a review. You have a chance of being featured as we're about to do here on our very exciting stuff. I know. So this review is from K Young 1225. It's called Reformed Disney Adult Hater. So they said, hear me out. I was a certified Disney adult hater until I realized that Jessica and Tyler were Disney adults. I was slowly primed into the Disney adult world through Jessica's vlogs and merely tolerated it until this podcast came out. This is so interesting. Then I found myself immersed in the Disney adult world. I've come to realize there are plenty of worse things to be spending your time doing than loving Disney. Yeah. This pod has made me realize that Disney actually is for adults too. And after having my first kid last year, congratulations, I've been so excited to eventually take him to Disney thanks to this podcast. As someone who knows so little, Tyler and Jessica are awesome at breaking down daunting Disney logistics into digestible pieces while also adding fun anecdotes and experiences of their own, which makes the podcast both informative and entertaining. What a
Wow, that's awesome.
Nice review. Well, I'm glad we brought you over to the Disney
To the
side.
Disney
Oh my
side.
gosh. Yeah. Having a kid too really starts to make you think like, oh my gosh, like this would be really fun to take him to Disney
Yeah.
when they get a bit bigger, or now, do whatever you want. But yeah,
Yeah.
it gives you even more sparkly eyes about it. At least for me, it does. Because
Yeah.
bringing them can be exhausting. But I mean, at the end of the day, Disney is
Yeah.
for families.
Yeah.
And so, well, I was going to say, please, we spent a decade going just us. It's
Yeah.
fine to go just as adults, but yeah.
And
just
it's so fun. There's just so many different types of trip. I mean, there's,
Yeah.
There's people that go obviously even just as adults. Maybe they're empty nesters. Maybe they don't have kids. And
Maybe they're
we did
leaving
that.
their kids with a Nana and they're going for a night or two.
And so that was always, that's such a fun trip, but it's also so fun to bring your kids and see all these things that we've loved for so long through their eyes. So
Yeah.
it's just, there's all kinds of good ways to go do Disney.
Well, that's all, folks.
right. I think we're
catch you
done
on the we'll catch you on the flippity flip. Let us know if you have any episode ideas. Our list is long and getting longer, but a lot of times, as we've said, if we really like an idea, we just move it right to the top
Yeah,
and do that
like
next
this
because
one.
we're too excited. Yeah. So if you want to send in any ideas for episodes, or you just want to send us a message, you can DM us on Instagram. Our Instagram is Disneyville Podcast. You can comment below on our YouTube videos. Yeah, we love you guys.
See you later.
See ya.
Well, see you later.